What are you having to drink there, Sarah?
Let me take a sip so I can turn the can around without spilling any.
Right.
It's pretty good too. It's a somewhat local brewery called Gateway City.
Okay.
Nice.
This is the Pacific Hotel West Coast Pale Ale.
That sounds awesome. I actually I haven't really been doing a lot of beers, but the last one we've been doing like tastings and stuff lately, and the last one we had was a macaroon beer.
Yes.
Okay.
It was awful.
From a local brewery. Yeah, it was not
terrible.
good. But I love the name. It's Macaroon Delight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good name.
Yeah.
Good name.
Yeah, just awful.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
I'm sailing away.
No, we were talking about
Skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
exactly. Welcome to Bacon's My Podcast.
It's an old wooden ship.
Indeed. Diversity.
Diversity too.
Right there.
Diversity is important, everyone.
Indeed.
And if you want to diversify, think about one, what you're drinking. DrinkWildBills.com. Two, what you're grilling. What are your spices? What are your rubs? How are you rubbing your meat? GrillYourAssOff.com. 10% off. Promo code BACON. Poddex.com.
Same thing.
What are you reading and asking people why you're grilling
Yeah.
and why you're drinking your Wild Bills?
Indeed.
Right?
Indeed.
Speaking of rubbing your meat,
Yes. This next sponsor is all about the meat. Or the things around the meat.
yeah.
Manscaped. This is the Lawnmower 4.0.
Do you
It's
have
got
a bird's nest?
It's got skin.
Do you have two sparrows' eggs hanging in a bird's nest? Don't do that.
Oh my goodness. That is grotesque.
It is.
Grotesque.
It is.
Ugh. Lawnmower 4.0 by Manscaped.
Yeah, mow your lawn.
It's got skin safe technology. It is rechargeable. It is got a little light. It is so this way you can see what's going on down there.
Yeah.
It's waterproof. They are amazing. I love it. It is the way to trim your package.
It's the way of the future.
It's the way of the future.
Actually, it's the way of the present. You know
It's
what? Don't
the
be that guy.
future.
Don't be that guy. If I'm sitting here with a freshly mowed lawn, and you're sitting here with a rat's nest, right? With a craggly lawn with weeds and dandelions and shit,
It helps the real estate.
you ruin my value
Right. It
by
just-
being next to me.
exactly. So just help the real estate.
Exactly.
Help yourself.
Exactly.
Manscaped. Use the promo code BACONPOD. Get 20% off any of your purchases, including,
Free shipping.
but not limited to, the crop mop.
Yeah, the crop mop's the best. I have that.
Refined.
I'll buy that forever.
The wonderful cologne or Cologne.
Calagna?
The oh man, just the weed whacker, which helps you with your nose hairs, and you don't
Yeah.
have boogers
Yeah.
hanging out and stuff.
Yep.
Uh,
If you have a
all of those
mustache,
things.
sometimes it gets confusing.
Yeah, it gets confusing,
You know? And you can get up there and you can be like, it's not so confusing anymore.
exactly. So
And you don't have to do that weird, like, Michael Hayes,
yeah,
Thing.
right.
right?
Yeah,
The pimp
so,
stash.
Indeed. So go to manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, get 20% off, and you know what? While we're at it, let's throw in free shipping.
Let's do it.
Free shipping, 20% off. Do it.
Free shipping.
This is
free
already
your
getting
balls, right? 20%, because
Yeah.
you know what? 10, 10, 20. You got two nuts.
Yes.
Free 'em.
But it's not 10
Free 'em.
and then another 10 after it. It's 20.
Yeah,
It's
because
just
they're in the
20.
same bag,
10 plus 10 is 20.
right?
Right.
Same
Exactly.
package.
So, we've got a returning guest, so we're not going to waste any more time.
Josh
Ladies
from
and
Silverstein
gentlemen,
is back.
Josh from Silverstein is back.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Now.
Hi, welcome everybody
Hey.
to Bacon is My Podcast.
Oh.
I brought us in.
Oh, I thought we were doing the movie thing.
Yeah, but it's part of it. We're not doing
Okay.
a separate thing.
Well, that's
right?
my thing.
A whole separate thing.
Hey.
Oh, sorry.
See, what do you?
You said. I was just going by what you said.
So Josh has already been on this show,
Yes.
and little does he know, is we've regressed as hosts.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, totally.
You are our 10th episode you brought up today. Our 10th. We are now on. Now you are our 100
episode 122.
122 now.
Been cooking
the
along.
effort- Yeah, the effort
Yeah.
that we put into preparing for these has gone way down. It's been a steady decline.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean,
Well, maybe it's a sharp decline.
a sharp decline. It's a
kinda
sharp
jumped off
decline.
the cliff. Yeah.
But guys, welcome to Bacon is My Podcast. We have Josh Bradford again from Silverstein.
Yes.
He was our 10th guest. Now he's 122. And since then, I mean, before, like, when we did our first episode with you, everything was like in a state of flux and nobody knew what the hell was going on and who was going to be able to get back out on the road and all that stuff. So, like,
And now, new record and kicking ass on the road, selling places out.
he's grimacing.
Yeah. Something happened. Something happened. He can no longer hear us. I don't know what happened. He has a very concerned face. Yes. We can't hear him.
All right, lost the audio for a second there.
Oh,
More than a second, really.
We were just cooking along. We were cooking along. We were talking about how, like,
oh dear.
we were just talking about how, like, last
We
time
got no
spoke-
deer.
Are we gone again?
You're back. Fine.
And
How's that?
we're back.
I not touch this mic because it's freaking out.
Sensitive.
Very sensitive. Sorry, I missed everything you just said.
Yes.
No, it's okay.
It's-
What we were basically saying is that it's in a complete state of flux. It was not the very beginning of COVID, but it was definitely early on.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know if you guys had Bankrupt out yet. Even
No, it was
that
coming
point.
out soon. Or it was going to be out. Maybe it was going to be out when the episode aired.
Yeah,
remember we
around-
Yeah, I
talked
think
around,
around the same time it was going to air because I was able to speak towards it, but it was not
Right.
Yes.
Right.
out in the
Yeah.
world yet.
Yeah, now here we are. Bankrupt is out, but like now you've got a whole record out. You've got
Been
tours
touring.
under your belt.
Selling places out.
How does it feel to be back in the world again? I mean, I know that for especially in the beginning there was restrictions and tour bubbles and things like that, but it seems like now it's a little bit more lax.
Things have changed a lot since we last talked. Certainly, things are a lot more relaxed. We put out that new record, "Misery Made Me." Gone on a few tours at this point, each one getting more and more like the old days. As you said, the first one's back. We're certainly very restricted. We existed in this little bubble where we basically hung out on the bus and then went in and played the show and then came back to the bus. So it was just us hanging out with each other, no guests, no friends and family, just like really, really tight ship, isolated. And now the past couple ones we've done, like, kind of just going for it. We're going to bars and restaurants and having guests and doing all the things that kind of make traveling around the country really fun.
Right.
And actually have been to a few other countries since then too. We've been back to Europe and traveled around over there, and it is definitely the most normal things I've felt in the better part of 3 years now.
Yeah, that's awesome. That like, I know for him, I watched him do his first show back.
Yeah.
And like, halfway through the first song, you saw them like welling up.
I was like
you're like,
choking
oh,
up.
I missed this.
I was like, oh my God, this is so great.
I, on the other hand, I don't know why. I was just like, I was just so in my head. I don't know. I couldn't enjoy it for some reason, but whatever. You are now also a podcaster.
Well, sorta. I'm part of a team that is doing a podcast.
Following
I
the
would say
footsteps
despite
as such greats as Bacon is my podcast. You're welcome for inspiring you.
well,
Having you had
Thanks.
such a good time that you were like, I got to do this. I get it.
Yeah, I didn't know what a podcast was before, and then we did this last
right.
April, and now I'm
This
all
little
about
thing.
them.
This little thing we created.
oh yeah, he does have somebody who's like pretty good at, got like a pretty successful podcast.
No, I'm
pretty close to him. So
yeah, we got to talk about sarcasm one of these days.
maybe. But Silverstein, the podcast is out, and I love it because you guys go into a record, you go into each song, and you go into the production stuff, and you go into you play demos, and that man, I love that. I love the demo stuff. I love the acapella stuff. Like the demo stuff to me is the most interesting part because I, musician myself, so I'm sending demos to him and demos to my other friends and stuff like that, and just to see the evolution of a song, I love that whole vibe, that whole thing. So the fact that you guys do that on your show, which should be when Pod is easily cast, that's a vote for there. That's I love it. That's really cool. What got you guys to say, hey, maybe we should do this?
As you mentioned, Shane has a very successful podcast and is quite plugged into the world of podcasting. So that was kind of the jumping off point. And he really spearheaded the whole thing. He basically edits them all himself and puts it all together for us. So it's really painless. And yeah, he knows, the right ways to go about it and who to partner with in getting it out there and all that. So the idea was floated, and we have a lot of things to talk about over the duration of our 22 plus years now. We've had a lot of experiences, and it just seemed like a natural thing to do. And yeah, since he was able to kind of just go and plug us into what he's already doing, it as I say, was very quick and painless. We just show up and talk, and
how do you guys decide what to put on the podcast? Because like he was saying, a demo thing is a big thing that, like, for me to hear somebody doing that's the coolest peek behind the curtain that I can think of as a songwriter, because I'm like, oh man, that's just awesome. Like, so how did you guys decide what to put on there and come to those things? Like, oh, let's throw demos up. Oh, let's throw this song. Let's write songs with people on this online. Like, how do you guys figure that out?
Yeah, I mean, we had all that stuff that we've been messing around with it anyway ourselves. And it is cool to take a peek behind the curtain and see kind of how a song evolves. And certainly we have more and more of that in the tank these days, because we have been making really solid demos and seeing them even like as the song demos again and again, because like it'll be like a rough sketch and then it'll get re-demoed as a more finished product, and then you get to compare that to the actual record version. It just an easy fun thing to do, and it's fun for us too, because usually by the time we're talking about a song and sharing it with people, those songs seem pretty old to us. We've spent a lot of time with them, and it is very exciting to go back and hear how it started. And like I'm sure most of us don't even remember some of the finer details getting hammered out, but it is very revealing how a song starts and where it ends up. And certainly hearing those acapellas is really cool because there is so much layering of vocals that you don't hear a whole bunch of the vocal. You just hear that kind of the lead vocal, maybe some of the harmonies, and I think it's really cool to. You okay?
Yep. No,
cool. I was losing audio for a second there, too.
Yeah, no, we're cool.
You still have me?
Yeah,
fingers crossed. Right. This is gonna work.
We got you. I thought it was really cool because I actually said it in the last episode that you were on, and we had Paul Mark on as well. But like, you guys always collaborate on your records. You guys have a lot of features, all that kind of stuff. But I know Paul Mark was talking to us about some of the songwriting he was doing online and for this new record and stuff like that. So it was awesome for me to be like, cool, he's doing all these Zoom things, and he talks on the podcast about how miserable some of them are. And then hearing this now, like the finished product of what was being worked on when we had him on, it's like, oh shit, this is cool. And for me too, like some of the things that were said on the podcast, like, one song was being pitched to like Dragged Under, and you guys had, Ultraviolet, Corey from Wage War helped write that song, and it's like, man, this is awesome. This is so cool. Like seeing all the collaboration that's happening, and it's really a treat for me. I get giddy about it. Jen's like, my wife, Jen, she's like, it's cool, but just get over it, buddy. Relax. I'm like, no, this is what I love.
There's nothing wrong with fanboying out over stuff like that, because it's like when you find out that two writers that you respect and that you like know each other and like each other and work together, you're like, oh shit, that's cool. I like both of them. And so it's exciting to kind of go, what would happen if? Because they always have those things in your, you have it's fantasy football. You have like, if this guy was with this guy in a room, what would they come up with? And then you get to kind of like, you go, oh shit, that guy was with that guy in a room, and this is what they came up with. And I already really like that. So hell yeah. So man, awesome. I get it. Don't let her tell you. Don't let her tell you.
Yeah, the world is like ever a smaller place with the internet. We can be in a room together, even though we're hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. And right. I think that is something we've really embraced in connecting and collaborating for making music and other forms of art. It's so easy to jump on a Zoom call with somebody and feel like you're right there and have, more than just the conversation, because you can see kind of like their facial feedback about ideas. Right. And it's I think an amazing thing that, you mentioned how Paul Mark was saying it was kind of depressing. I think that that had a lot to do with the circumstance of being forced to only get together over video calls, for sure. But a very interesting tool that we've been able to harness.
Yeah. It's cool that you guys embraced it. So, we talked about it in the last episode, how you guys embraced it, kind of like you were embracing it first. You were right on top of, you've been on top of technology as it's been going and ways of communicating since like the beginning, which is pretty awesome, because you don't hear that quite enough. A lot of people kind of fight it. A lot of people are kind of like, well, this is the way, or this is, like, I don't want to hear anything that wasn't made this way. Or, it's like, it's the analog digital fight. It's the shaking your fist and yelling at clouds, like,
sure,
my day, that type of thing. And you guys as a band adopted all of it very early. So it's only kind of natural that you guys are still kind of ahead of the curve on all of it. You know what I mean? So that makes sense.
We're trying, Paul Kohler, our drummer and manager, is always on the cutting edge. He's very into embracing new technologies, even some that look promising but end up not working out. He's always got his ear to the ground, and it's like, this seems interesting. We should get involved in this. And maybe there's a few of us in the back kind of shouting at clouds and being old men about it, but he is very convincing.
Posting things on Vine.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that come and go, and you never know which is going to stick. And certainly trying to embrace them early on has been a strategy of ours that is perpetuated mostly by Paul Kohler. but he drags us along kicking and screaming into all kinds of interesting spaces, and for the most part they all end up working out like really, really well, and we thank him later.
So we talked about how you guys were back on tour. You finished up your 20, well, at the time it was supposed to be 20th anniversary tour, who I got to see before the pandemic.
Yes.
But it was literally like 3 days prior to shutdown. But then you guys got to finish it. So you had a crazy, again, 3-set headliner, full on tour. After that, you got on tour with your buddies in Beartooth, and you had to open. So my question is this, like, and I think I asked this the last time, but it was like, song choices. How'd you come up with the song choices? And I think Jen wants to know why you didn't play Burn It Down when you were playing with Beartooth. And I was like, well, you know, the first time you see somebody is always the most exciting time. So maybe Caleb didn't want to be seen the first time at somebody else's set, but who knows? What went into the song picking process?
Notorious
there?
big time.
Sure, yeah. Going from doing that 20th anniversary tour, 3 sets, it was like close to 2 hours long, our show. Paring that down into a 45-minute support set for the Beartooth tour was very difficult. Obviously, you have to cut a lot of stuff, and we had the new record, so we wanted to play a bunch of the newer songs, while still, you know, playing some old stuff for any of the diehards. So tried to pick a good balance of that stuff, and Burn It Down, just we didn't rehearse it because we thought, like you said, that Caleb maybe would not want to come out and do it, and thought might be like, certainly we've played it without him many times, but thought it could be a little weird to play it on the tour and have him not come out. Have people be like, what well, he's like right back there, why didn't he come out?
Well, I will tell you, I actually went to go see see Sleeping with Sirens, and their support on this tour is Point North. Point North does a song with Kellen Quinn. He did not come out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen.
And but he's right. Everybody was like, well, why didn't Kellen Quinn come out?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like you're playing a great song, but people are you're hyping them up for something they're not going to get. So there's disappointment, even if it's great.
Right.
Didn't want to set anyone up like that, you know.
Right.
And just didn't want to put any pressure on Caleb. Like, they were playing a huge, crazy set themselves, and they certainly like left it all out on the stage every night. And like, I would not have felt comfortable requesting that he come and join us, because he needed to save all his juice for their gig. But like, so we didn't prep the song. We could have probably pulled it out, but we weren't sound checking it all on that tour, so it's hard to kind of just go right into playing a song without at least giving it kind of a test run. And very quickly early on in the tour, he was like, why aren't you guys playing that song? I'd come out and do it with you. We're like, no. But he ended up coming out and doing Vices with us a bunch of nights.
Nice. Cool. Very cool.
So he despite having a big gig ahead of him, would often come join us. And that was always a treat. But yeah, unfortunately not on the song that he is actually featured on. So.
So what are those conversations like? Only because, like, I'm just curious because I'm in a band that has a lot of music out, right? So when we're making sets, we have to go through. We have, I think we're like 40 something songs released, and so when we go through stuff, it's like I have a guitar player that was on our first record and then was gone for the second record and then came back later, and so he's always wanted to play songs from that first record, and we, like, other guys want to play stuff from other things, and we're trying to be very democratic about it. But it's like we also have new stuff, and it's like we've been putting out singles, and it's like every single's got to be in the set because they're singles, like they have to be in the set. So what are those conversations like with you guys? Are they very, do you guys like vote on it, flip coin, pick things out of a hat? Do you like, what's
Spotify
your
top
method?
10?
Yeah, Spotify top. That's what we've started doing, honestly, is I've started opening up our Spotify, like top 10 for the month and then all time. And then being like, okay, anything that crosses over month and all time automatically goes in the set. And then we can fill in from there. And I give everybody one. I'm like, okay, what's your one? What's your
Everybody gets one.
Yeah, like it is interesting that we actually have like data now for how popular a song is. I think for a long time, most of your record, it was just like, I don't know, I think people like this one. They seem to go crazy when we play that one. And so it was a lot of guesswork and kind of a lot of each band members kind of projecting their idea of what is a popular song. And now that we actually have that data, we do look at that a lot in deciding. Say, oh, like we can't really afford not to play that one. That seems so popular. Like, it would be amiss to leave that out. But certainly there are singles that maybe don't even perform that well, but we're a single and we feel the need to service that. And yeah, just there's always going to be ones that you feel like, even if they're not a massively popular song by the numbers, they always get a really good reaction in a live setting.
Yeah, there's always those songs that like you recorded it and you're like, it doesn't capture the live, so it's a live song. Yeah,
so trying to write a set that has some peaks and valleys and some heavy intense moments and some more kind of thoughtful subdued moments, and kind of build a story out of it. But it certainly is challenging, and the more songs you have, the harder it gets, because you're leaving out things that people would like to hear. It's a real challenge. And we just try and mix it up from tour to tour. There's a few that we feel like we always have to play, and then there's ones that we kind of rotate in and out. And as we release more new music, we have to try and play some of the new stuff. And certainly this new record is being really well received, so we want to play a bunch of those.
Silverstein's like a fine wine when it comes to their record.
The new record is
so good,
really, really good. So I've been listening to it even more this week, just because we were going to have you on, and I was like, all right, let me really dive in and all that kind of stuff. But still, I find myself just kind of like putting it on, and it's crazy to me, because the first time I listened to it on shuffle, because I have everything on shuffle, and I'm that guy. I don't listen to things the way that they're intended to be listened to, right? And so this week I was like, all right, let me not do that. Let me listen like from the top. And like, even then, like, it makes sense. And our song is clearly the opening for the record. Like, that's clearly the way to open, like, absolutely. But the way that it lines up, it's still kind of like, oh shit. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is that?
It
takes you from like, you're bouncing, and there's hooks, and there's like this like punky feel to a song, and then it's just brutal, and then there's like
synth.
Then there's like synth and like almost a hip hop delivery in the middle of I'm terrible with song names.
The Altar.
Yes, exactly what I was thinking of. Yes. It's like that middle section. I'm like, did it skip to something else the first time I heard it? And I was like, no, this is it. Awesome. This is great. So, like, how did you choose the order for the record? Because you're so trying different things and so putting your hands in all over the place, but it's still coherent and it makes sense. But like, that would have been a really difficult choice, or had to be a really difficult choice, as to be like, how do we line these up in a record? What's the journey that you were kind of like, the idea that you were trying to take people on?
Certainly we're trying a lot of different things on this record, and just pushing the boundaries of what it sounds like to be Silverstein. Certain members of the band are really, really, really into sequencing. They have very strong feelings about that, and then some of us not so much. So we tend to defer to them a little bit. And I think really the idea was to give you tastes of familiarity to kind of like make you feel comfortable, and then hit you with something crazy that maybe pushes the boundaries, but then rein it back in with something that is not so out of our world. Just so that, every time that we kind of come up with a surprise, it is then supported by something that is a little more
okay. That makes sense.
us. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Don't want to freak anybody out, but definitely want to, spread our wings and fly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, it's awesome.
I love that.
I love it, and I love the chances that you took on things, and I love the directions. I love the jumps and the chances to different things. And I love the familiar, because it just shows like, okay, we're gonna go over here. Hey, guess what? We're over here now. What about this?
I think if we made a whole record of synths and trap beats, obviously people would be like, "What is this? This is not the band that I thought I was about to listen to."
Well, how do you balance that? How do you decide, like, okay, we want to show that we have growth because we don't want to put out the same record that we've put out before, but we also don't want to go so far off the reservation that we're alienating fans or are coming across like we're moving away from our style. I mean, I guess it's hard to move away from a style that you love and that you're into and that you're doing. It's just the way you write. But how do you guys? Is that a thought process when you're in? Is there that balanced thought, like, okay, how are we gonna do this? Or are you just like, let's make a record?
Definitely in the demoing stage, some things can seem extra freaky. But as soon as Shane's voice is on it, it feels very much more like us.
Yeah.
And I think we maybe discussed this a little bit last time, but like we have always had a fairly wide range to our sound.
Yeah.
From the very first record, there were songs without screaming and songs with a lot of screaming and ones that are heavier with lighter parts to them, and then songs that are overwhelmingly lighter with maybe a little heaviness tucked in. So like it's always kind of been wide ranging, and so we're just kind of sticking with that. It's hard to make it feel like not us, because we've always had depth to it, but we just push those kind of boundaries a little further in every direction every time we make a record, and feel that much more free to experiment.
Commercial break.
What's up, guys? Going to talk to you a little bit about our sponsors real quick. Just want to start off with grillyourassoff.com. If you are going into grilling season like we are, then you know that you always need a little rub. You always need a little sauce. You need something that's going to help your grilling get better. Help those chicken breasts, right? They get a little dry sometimes. You want to make sure you're saucing them up. You want to make sure those ribs have got a nice dry rub and a saucy rub. Go to grillyourassoff.com. Check it out. I've used their stuff. It's delicious. 10% off with the promo code BACON.
Another place you can go to get 10% off with that promo code, drinkwildbills.com. They've got delicious sodas. They've got all sorts of different flavors, from sarsaparilla to birch beer to you name it. You got your root beers, you got your cream sodas, you got your creamsicles.
Yeah. Sugar-free for you guys. Watching the waistline.
Indeed. And also, they've got some great jerky stuff. They've got the brisket bites are A+.
Indeed.
A+. And if you go there, go to drinkwildbills.com, use the promo code BACON, get 10% off.
One more place you can use that same promo code BACON is our oldest sponsor, Poddex. If you're a podcaster, if you are a budding interviewer, if you are just somebody that has a hard time talking to people every now and then, or want to do something fun with your friends, check out poddex.com. They have these decks of cards, 50 cards per deck, 50 questions. Check it out. Learn things about your friends, learn things about people, learn how to talk a little bit more, and be a little bit more comfortable always use the promo code BACON again to get 10% off your order. They got cool swag too.
Indeed. And last but not least, of course, always frame the balls.
Yes.
Is that what you do? Frame the balls.
Frame the balls?
Well,
You could frame the balls.
You could. But if you got a bush, it's just not. It's the summer.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Use the Lawnmower 4.0. Use the perfect package and go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code BACONPOD. You get 20% off your order. And they've got all sorts of great stuff if you're a guy who's looking to feel so fresh and so clean.
Indeed. And not only do you get 20% off, but you also get free shipping.
Free shipping?
Shine up those balls. Get rid of that bush. Clean yourself up. And if you don't
Indeed.
clean yourself up, start.
Yeah.
Bacon Pod, 20% off, free shipping. Check it out. Thank you to our sponsors. Thanks for hanging out. What's your bacon?
What's up? It's Josh from Glasslands. You can check out our music at glasslands.co. And you've been consuming Bacon is My Podcast.
One of the things that we spoke about last episode as well, you talked about your very expensive lightweight German guitars.
Right.
But now you joined Jim in the Music Man game.
Yes. Welcome. Well,
So-
Thank you.
don't welcome. I'm happy to join you because they don't know that I play their instruments.
Right. So what facilitated that change?
I love instruments. I love gear. So I'm always roaming around, playing different things, checking stuff out, and I very much still love those Nick Huber Krautsters, the German boutique guitar. I have 3 of them. There's one on my wall right here. Whoa, yep.
For those listening, we have a Sweetwater wall right behind
Yes,
us.
I do have a bit of a guitar wall here. I will
It's
always
just out
love
of
those
focus, so
guitars.
we can't tell what anything is though.
Yeah, it's secret. It's very
That's
secret.
true.
Yeah, I will always love those. I will probably still play them from time to time, but Music Man has been very wonderful to Paul Mark. And I was chatting with them one day and was like, I'm kind of like into this one body shape that you do. I've been thinking about, spreading my own wings and let's see what what they're all about. Would you send me one so I can try it out? And they did, and I absolutely loved it. And now they're in the process of making me 3 more with custom colors.
Ooh, nice.
So
yeah. Which one?
Which one is that?
The Stingray.
Ah, that's mine. I love
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
He's got a really nice Stingray. It's a matte black.
Yeah, they made like this
It's
matte black
beautiful.
one, and I'm a proud owner of like the original Les Paul Gothic from back in the 90s.
Sure. Yeah.
And when I saw that the Stingray had like this matte black, I was like, it's like a sibling. I have to check it out.
Didn't you buy it from the Sweetwater?
Yes, I
From
went.
Sweetwater?
I went to Sweetwater because I'm from Indiana. So when I was home for Christmas, I called up my Sweetwater rep, Jared,
hmm
and I called him up and was like, "Hey, I want to come take a tour and hang out and everything." And he was like, "Yeah, well, that Stingray that's been in your cart for a good 2 months, we have one. Do you want to come check it out?" And I was like, "Maybe, maybe I want to come check it out." And I went, and he treated me to lunch and coffee and gave me the whole tour of Sweetwater, which is incredible. Like if you ever get a chance, if you haven't, I'm sure you probably have. It's crazy.
I haven't, but so we kicked off that Beartooth tour in Fort Wayne,
Right.
at the venue that Sweetwater owns.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought us a bunch of stuff, and that was nice. And they had offered us a tour of the facility, but the weather was just cracking into spring to a point where we figured we could work out golfing. So
Right.
Paul Mark and I went golfing instead of going to Sweetwater.
Did they
But I
bring
would
you a bunch of
absolutely love
candy?
to check it out. They did bring us candy. It's so nice.
Of course they did.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not enough Tootsie Rolls and too many Bitter Honeys. What the fuck is that?
I don't like the Red Hots. that they give you, the ball red hots. You know, it's like cool. I appreciate the candies with the strings, but red hots, you can hold on to them.
I definitely recommend the tour. It's really, really cool. The whole operation they have going there, and it's bigger now than they were still under construction of a whole new area that they were building when I was there for a showroom and all this kind of stuff, and a whole used section that like you can't get on their website, and all their people get first. And they have a gym in there. They have an on-site doctor. They have
that's sweet.
Yeah, like they have it set up so like, and everybody that works there has access to everything for free.
That's awesome.
Like it's a crazy operation that they have going there. It's like its own little world that's in there. When they opened, the owner was told like he came down to visit and hang out, and someone told him they had shitty coffee, so he went and like hired a like place that grows and does like artisanal coffee and brought it into Sweetwater so that they had great coffee. Like it's crazy. But definitely go on the tour. They have a really cool. The coolest thing I saw there was this auditorium where they actually have recorded stuff, and they've done performances and everything. It's this big auditorium, and they brought us in, and he was like, I just want to show you something. And he clapped to show me like how live the room was, right? And then he hit a button and he clapped again, and there was zero like echo, nothing. It was a dead room. And this was a hall with like seats and a stage and high ceilings, and literally pressing a button. And he was like, yeah. And then brought us to another room. And I was like, wait, what the hell was that?
We need to discuss this.
How did you do that?
That's amazing.
And he never told me. He never told me. It's crazy.
It's like what number I'm thinking of.
It's magic. It's absolutely magic. You should definitely go and go down the slide.
I would love to go check it out. Yeah. Maybe pick up some more guitars. I don't know.
You should do a, maybe a Josh signature Stingray.
Maybe, yeah. Like I said, they loaned me one. I loved it, so they're making me 3 more, slightly modified because there's some things about it that, for my personal tastes, I would change.
Right.
But it's a killer guitar, and it is very different from most of what I've been playing. Like it's got a very skinny neck. Usually, I love a big fat neck.
Yeah. Those tiny headstocks too.
Yeah, tiny headstock. It's like, I guess, a little more Fender style. And I'm usually more of a Gibson guy. And like, yeah, maple fretboard. I'm usually like a rosewood or ebony guy.
Right.
So I'm just, stretching myself.
Changing it up a bit.
Changing it up.
When you make your signature guitar, I don't want to spend $6,000 on it. So I'll be a tester. I'll send it back to you.
We need testers.
I'm the everyman, dude. I'm the everyman.
He's the everyman Jack.
You can send it to me.
One, you brought up you missed the tour because you went golfing. When you came to Long Island, you played a new venue that you guys had never played, the Paramount. Mm-hmm. You also went to Bethpage.
Yes, indeed. We did a lot of golfing. I think we got out like 30 plus times golfing on that tour.
Nice.
How badly did you kick Paul Mark's ass?
You could run this country.
Have never beaten him. He
why are you guys are so like humble about your golf game. So funny story.
He was trying to stir shit with Paul Mark too.
Because we had on the same night we had Paul Mark and then we had Fleur Shomo after him. So I did say to him, I said, how badly can you or how badly do you kick Caleb's ass in golf? And he was like, oh no, he's got this and this and this. And I'm like, come on, man. Like you can't just play into it, man. Nothing. You guys are too humble. You know what the problem? You know what it is? It's they're Canadian.
Yeah.
And this guy is the sweetest Canadian ever. We still talk about you on, we're 122 episodes in.
Yep.
Still, you're the sweetest man we've ever met.
That's true. We're
we're convinced you're made of maple syrup.
That is a factual statement.
On the inside.
Yeah, I got maple syrup for blood. It's sticky.
I speak to you online, and I get
Mhm.
cavities.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
It's not even in person. In person, my teeth just fall out. But I'll take it.
Oh, shucks.
what I do need to ask you is, you were our first vegan as well.
Oh, that's true.
And I haven't gone vegan, but I am trying like vegan options and stuff like that, and protein, plant-based proteins and stuff like that. So I've been cooking with seitan,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been cooking with jackfruit a little bit.
Like Lucifer, our Lord of Darkness.
No, seitan. It's a soy-based protein thing. Is thing that's the technical term, right?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing that you eat. Yeah, it's it
sounds like the Lord of
seitan is
Darkness.
like it's definitely not for people that are gluten free. It's basically
very much
wheat gluten.
Okay.
So like you make it by kind of starting the process of making bread and then stopping. It's like,
So it's like a sourdough starter.
yeah, kind of
less smelly though. Less smelly.
It
Smells like soy sauce.
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
a very hearty plant-based substitute. It's got a real good chewiness to it that a lot of the other substitutes don't have.
So
for
what
those
I
of
do
you,
with that,
for those of you with celiac, it's Satan.
It could be.
it could very
The
well
devil.
be.
Could be.
What I do is I actually what I'll do is I'll cut it up and I'll throw it into a frying pan. I'll fry it up a little bit, and then I'll throw it in wing sauce and I'll throw it over salad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, that is actually one of my favorite restaurant meals. A lot of vegan restaurants have, of course, salads, but they'll have wings. Often they're seitan based, and I will get an order of the wings, an order of the salad, and boom.
Well, I feel like that's what they're made of on Hot Ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
so.
just like put them on like a piece of wood stick.
It's like the popsicle.
Yeah, more or less. What are some tips for cooking seitan or jackfruit? I did some jackfruit like barbecue sliders, almost like pork sliders.
Because we do know you're a chef. We still have that picture of you in an apron.
In the apron.
Mike's going to put up right now.
Oh, yeah.
You just did it. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it looks good. I remember that. Wow. The jackfruit does make a very good pulled pork type of substitute. It's got that kind of shredded consistency. You did sliders. Those are good. We'll often do tacos with them. I think a real key to any of that stuff is the sauce. You got to sauce it up real nice with a real tasty sauce, because a lot of these substitutes don't necessarily have a whole lot of flavor themselves, and it's all about kind of
their flavor
what you do with it. Yeah, they soak it up. So yeah, I think really that's the secret to a lot of vegan cooking is getting nice sauces.
Okay, because I've been kind of exploring myself. That sounds wrong.
Cooking with Satan.
No, but
which
cheese,
is also
cheese
exploring
bothers
yourself
me.
to the
dairy bothers me. So I started like taking on some of the vegan cheeses and stuff, and I found that there are, believe it or not, some vegan cheeses that do melt, and that are pretty good.
Okay, a lot of things melt. Do they taste good?
No, there's oh man,
like I've had a lot of vegan dishes that are pretty delicious.
Yeah.
And I will say that my Chipotle go-to order is sofritas, which
so good.
Absolutely love.
Yeah.
But vegan cheese, not yet. Not yet.
I'm gonna let you try.
Yeah, try something.
I have like an aged cheddar slice that is dead on, like straight up dead on. I think it's Go Life. I think that's the name of the brand.
Sure.
But yeah. The problem with that one though is it doesn't melt very quickly.
Well, neither does cheddar. Cheddar's just an oily mess.
That's true. That's true.
Perhaps, yeah. The melty factor of vegan cheeses has been long their biggest drawback.
Right.
But the technology has come a long way, and there's more and more options, and they're getting better and better. There's a bunch out that are now like cultured, and it gives it a little bit more of a funk that is pretty convincing.
Cheese is kind of funky.
I like
cheese is
funky
kind of funky.
cheeses.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more my cheeses smell like feet, the better they are.
Yeah.
You would love my dog. He was very stinky this week. He smelled like some sort of very rare stanky cheese, and we just let it ride for a couple weeks. It was a running joke between my wife and I saying, somebody should really give this guy a bath. And we would just say that to each other endlessly for weeks. And finally today we hosed him down and gave him a little shampooing, and he smells much less like cheese now.
And now the funk is gone.
Fun fact.
Now the funk is
Fun
gone.
fact, they actually do have dry shampoo for dogs. It's fantastic. It's called yeah, I mean, I guess it's dry shampoo, but it's like a foam, and you spray it on the dog.
Yeah.
And you just massage it in, and they become instantly less stinky.
When is Silverstein going to bring the funk? That's the only style
yeah.
that you guys haven't hit yet.
We haven't messed around with a whole lot of funk, although we did get invited to play the grand opening ceremonies of a performing arts center in our little hometown of Burlington, Ontario.
Okay.
And I think we got to play 3 songs of our own.
Okay.
And it was like a showcase of all these artists that grew up from Burlington type of thing. And then at the end of the show closed out with us basically acting as the house band for a rendition of a real funky jam. What is it?
The way your head's moving
Like
is very
Earth, Wind,
funky.
and Fire?
Okay.
Is it? I feel like you're doing like the.
That's the one. Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one.
In September.
That's it. Wow.
The final day.
Wow.
You got that off his head move?
Well, that's
It's
what
the beat.
that's the song, right?
Dude, that is the song.
What is it?
Yeah,
Nice
you got it.
job.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah,
job.
you gotta, yeah. Name that
Yeah.
tune in head sways.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's
Your guy.
impressive. Cheers to
What
you.
am I
That's
thinking? Yeah, very well done.
super
Thank
impressive.
you.
you.
I'm sorry I couldn't think of it. I wasn't planning to talk about this, but there it is. That's the funkiest we've ever gotten, and
It's pretty funky though.
It was pretty
So-
funky.
Get your Parliament covers ready.
Yes, indeed.
I actually, to be honest, like if you listen to like funk singers and rhythm sections, and then you listen to heavier bands, if you could mesh those, you could mesh them in a really interesting way that would really work. Because it's such a freedom in both aspects of it. You've got these singers that are just going nuts.
Oh yeah.
That are just "Ow!" like just absolutely going nuts. And then the guitars are just open and everywhere, and then that rhythm section is tight as hell. And you have to do that to do heavy music.
Okay.
That's what makes heavy music great. A tight rhythm section and a singer and a guitar player that are willing to kind of branch out,
Get a little wild.
get a little wild.
Get a little
Gotta get a
wacky.
little wild. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. My challenge to you is to do some funk, just to hear it. I just want to
Funky
hear. I just want to
Silverstein,
hear a heavy band. I've never heard a heavy band try a funk song.
Yeah.
And I think that's weak sauce.
Okay. One question I want to ask about what you've got coming up, which is your. So when it was announced, it was a co-headlining tour, right? But now it very much looks like a headliner. Are you guys still co-headlining, where you swappy on the nights, or is it a headliner?
We're talking about this upcoming run with Australia's
the Amity.
finest, the Amity Affliction.
Indeed.
Yes. No, it is absolutely a co-headliner. We'll be swapping back and forth. I think maybe one thing that is lending the impression that it is not is there are 2 ad mats, one with like us on top and one with them on top. So we have most often posted the one with us on top, and they have probably most often posted the one with them on top. So
Okay.
it looks like a headline play when the names are arranged like that. But I mean, that's basically what you'll see the night of. Like, one of us will close and the other will play before them. So yeah, just an ad mat thing, just a poster thing.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because it did look a lot like that. But so when you guys come to Long Island, what I'm gonna actually try and do, since it is an actual co-headliner, is if you guys are playing first, is actually bring my kids to their first concert.
Cool.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Awesome.
I can probably check quickly here, but I'm not positive that we will be. I think we will be closing in Long Island.
Okay.
But I'm just guessing.
And then you guys are also you're playing, and this is like the stars aligning for me, because every show that I go to at Starland Ballroom is always on a Sunday night. You're playing Starland on a Saturday.
Interesting.
That is like the stars aligning.
So actually, when I look, don't quote me on this, but I'm just looking, and it seems like perhaps we are not closing Long Island.
You heard it here first, listeners. Josh Bradford says, as a fact,
officially.
So yeah, everybody, bring your kids. It'll be a little earlier, and
bring your kids.
Well, I'll try and get Uncle Shane not to swear too much.
This is the show to bring your children.
Oh, that's okay. Like my kids, they actually. Gavin asked me today, what does the F word mean? And I'm like, you're 9.
Anything you want it to mean.
There's too many meanings for it.
It's multifaceted. It's a very crazy word.
It's
powerful. All words are made up. It can mean whatever you want.
Sure, you're right.
Sure.
You're absolutely right.
I have a question. Where? So, Vancouver and Edmonton. Where? My girlfriend will be there in September. She's working for Joan Jett, so they're doing the tour, that Joan Jett, Motley Crue, Def Leppard thing, and
Poison.
And Poison, yes, them too. Where should they eat?
Oh my goodness, Vancouver.
Where can I send? Joan Jett's vegan.
Yeah.
So where can they eat?
Vancouver is a wonderful food city. It's got a lot of great food. That being said, I can't think of a spot to specifically recommend. There's like a place that I often go to that's like kind of a noodle bar that usually will have kind of some pre-configured topping protein noodle combinations that you can choose from, or like a build your own noodle dish, Asian inspired type of stuff. I can't remember what it's called, but I often stumble upon it and end up being like, oh, I had a good time here last time, I'll get that again.
Nice.
I think there is a vegan spot called either Rebar or R Bar. It's probably Rebar.
Rebar, I've heard,
but I'm not sure. Yeah. I've had good meals there.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a tricky one.
Every time we have an interview, she'll ask who we're interviewing, and I'll be like, oh, this person from this band or this person that's doing this. I'm like, anything you think I should ask them? And she's like, yeah, if I'm going to be there, where should I eat?
Yeah, fair.
Where should I go? What should I do? Because she's living that tour life.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. I could do a little digging and thinking and probably put together a better list than I will be able to off the top of my head. And Edmonton can be tricky. There's stuff, but often the area of Edmonton we find ourselves playing in is a little more on the outskirts, in a bit more of like a industrial or commercial strip mall type of area,
right.
And the options are fewer and further between, but I know there are some good things more in the city, and I assume that they'll be at some big venue that is maybe a little more central, so there certainly will be good things, and I can do some research and
cool.
Send over a list.
Let me know.
That'd be wonderful. That'd be wonderful. What we have to do now, I have to go reach.
And if you're home, let me know if you want to go to the show.
Yeah,
sure. I'll look that up.
Are they coming through Toronto area?
No, they're just going to be. I think they were just
West
in
Coast.
Toronto.
they were just in Toronto.
I think they were just in Toronto. They were. It's so weird how they routed their tour. It's like they did last week. They did Toronto and I think Toronto and one other place in Canada. They did 2 shows in Canada.
Probably Montreal.
And then they were back down to like upstate New York, and then they're all around here, and then they're going back to Canada in September.
That's probably because it's the west coast of Canada.
Yeah, one of the most effective, efficient ways to route Canadian dates these days is to kind of pop up from the eastern seaboard and hit a couple spots over this end of the country, and then play through the States, and then pop up again when you're more on the western side. Because going
makes sense
from Toronto area out west through Canada, there's long drives with not a whole lot in between. So
how is it for you guys as far as getting into the US? Because I know that them getting into Canada was like really easy. Like they get hotels in the US and drop off all their weed and then go through and then come back 2 days later. So they just pay for hotels for you.
That's a safe way to do it. Yeah.
That's the move. But when they do cross, like it's literally, she was even saying, she was like, this was like the easiest we've ever crossed into Canada. It was like, it took 30 minutes and we were in, and it was like the easiest ever. What is it like for you guys coming into the US? Is there like is it a big hassle? Is it?
It's not so bad. Certainly it varies from like time to time. Like, I think a big key to it is being organized and like having clear, transparent communication. So we like all have work visas. We generally don't travel with merchandise. So like it's just real clean. We have a
that's easy.
big officially stamped list of all our equipment. And yeah, we just like have a stack of all the passports and are able to hand off and say exactly like there's this many Canadians, this many Americans, and have just everything really well detailed, well organized, so that I think if you pull up to the border and are like, how many Canadians are we? Do we have a thing like a list of the gear, and are we carrying merchandise and all that? Like, it's gonna be more of a hassle, and they're gonna be like, what are these guys doing? What are they up to? And they're gonna want to tear your bus apart and look just to see what you have. And if you're acting suspicious, they're gonna be suspicious, even if you're just sleep deprived and whatever.
Well, us suspicious musicians.
Sure.
Well, yeah,
we're all
very shifty. We're very shifty
for sure.
We are riffraff.
Yeah, indeed. They certainly treat us like it sometimes, but for the most part, we have all our paperwork in order and we're ready to go. We treat it seriously, like this is our career. So it's usually not too bad. Often they don't even make us get off the bus.
That's great.
Often an officer will come on the bus and just like kind of put a face to everybody's passport, and ask a few of the basic questions like what we have on board and stuff like that, and then they wave us through. On occasion, we have been passing late at night, and they haven't even got us up. They just like took a look at the passports and were like, yeah, good enough, go ahead.
Right.
But sometimes you got to get off the bus and go in, and it's been a long time since we've really been grilled
there.
But once in a while,
is there a difference
you
between
get somebody
getting into the U.S. versus like the UK versus or is it kind of the same process everywhere?
Again, for us, it's fairly similar, just because we are serious and well organized. I've heard horror stories about many different borders, but we have never really experienced anything too bad.
I played with a band once that had to rent gear in the U.S. because all their gear was kept behind in Canada because they didn't have the right paperwork, and they were like, "You're going across and you're making money, and you can't bring any of this stuff with you," or there was some kind of issue with it, and so they were renting gear, and then like the show we play with them, we let them use our gear.
Yeah, we
like,
did that.
It was.
Was that
nuts.
Beery's? Was that the Canadian band?
This was a different thing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that happened at Beery's.
Yeah, no, it happened with me at
this
Beery's
was years
too.
ago.
They had to go out and buy like cheap $79 guitars because nobody would rent them anything.
I wish I remembered the band name so that I could say it right now because they were awesome.
Yeah, I had a T-shirt of the band that was.
It sucks that I can't remember it right now, but they were great.
I had a T-shirt of that band for a long time that I played with because I was like, man, that sucks.
If I remember it, I'll add their. I'll go in the comments and I'll add their. I'll find it. I'll figure it out.
I think it does happen a lot, and I think usually it's avoidable. I can't speak to every instance. Sometimes you just find somebody that's having a bad day that decides to take it out on the people that are trying to process through the border, but. We get work permits and visas and whatever is required of us. We never try and like sneak through and do something, right? And that's usually where they have issue. They're like, "Oh, you're not just a tourist. You're coming here to make money to work. Like you don't have the right papers for that, and we're gonna have to deny you or make it harder for you."
We've also only been doing this for like 22 years, right?
Well, yeah. So you're probably pretty solid.
Not your first rodeo. So, we're gonna make some money right now.
Yeah. So,
hopefully,
I interrupt that and derail. That's what I do.
Okay. No. It's fine. We have a sponsor called Poddex. Still, you remember?
I remember.
They still haven't dropped us.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We think so too.
Yeah. So what Poddex is it's fun questions to ask for budding podcasters, people without verbal diarrhea like we have, and just helps break the ice a little bit if you need it. So what they do is they create cards, decks, right? They create cards too.
So it's all you, man.
Oh, it's all me. Yeah. So they create decks.
I love how you
within
do
each deck is 50 cards. Within each card is a question. And what we like to do is have our guest pick a deck and then pick a random question from said deck. So, Josh, we have the interview deck 2. We have the episode deck. We've got the what the heck deck. We've got Would You Rather. And now, new to you, not so new to us,
but new to you.
We have the what the fuck deck, which is branded in an MTV-like manner.
They went a little NC-17.
And then there is the how dare you deck, which is like a popcorn box. It's a lot of fun.
It's nice.
So which deck would you like to pick from, sir?
Oh, let's do the WTF deck.
All righty.
Why not?
Go ahead and I'm going to start shuffling.
You shuffle it up. I'll tell you that are listening, not you, Josh, but I mean, you.
I'll listen to.
But for everybody that is listening, I will let you know that you can go to poddex.com and you can check out these decks plus all their new stuff. They have new stuff all the time. They have an app where you can actually just do that instead of using the cards. But I kind of like having the cards. Do you like having the cards?
I love having the cards.
I think it's kind of cool. You can bring them someplace. Hand them out. People like things. They can hold them in their hands. They can touch with their digits. The magic fingers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They also have some pretty cool swag. They have nice T-shirts. They don't use the nipple destroying T-shirts that a lot of places use. Yeah. They're soft style. They're very nice. They're
Drax
printing.
Approved.
The printing is soft style. Also very nice. Good stuff. I think they're like next level.
Yeah.
T-shirts. I think that's what they use. For those of you that are in the biz. That have ordered T-shirts before, next level. You know that those are soft. Those are nice. Anything that you decide to buy over at poddex.com, just go ahead and use the promo code BACON.
Because everything's better with bacon.
You get 10% off your entire order. And you can help them, and you can help yourself. And most importantly, secondly importantly, because you yourself is most important. But secondly, you help the show. So we appreciate that.
All right, Josh, I'm going to fan this out. Now, this could be, we've had some of these that are more like questions like, did you ask me that? That kind of sucks.
Right. Yeah.
So if that's the case, we could repick.
What the fuck could be Disney, or it could be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
It could.
Sure.
It really goes.
Runs the gamut.
It really goes either direction. So look at the draw. Finger of power, going from my left to my right, your right to your left. You tell me when to stop, sir.
Stop there.
Stopping right here.
I knew I was taking a risk with the what the fuck deck.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You got a G rated. You got a G rated, unless you
Great.
make it worse.
Oh,
So-
let's see.
If you were to personalize your car's license plate,
Oh.
what would the plate say?
Tricky. I'm thinking.
I thought you said like tricky, like
No, that would be a
like
good
Run
one.
DMC.
Tricky. I don't know why I would want to put out into the world something about flatulence, but I'm thinking something fart related. I don't know.
Well, it is on the back of your car, right above the
yeah.
exhaust.
Yeah.
It fits.
Yeah.
I mean, farts are never not funny.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
No.
Well, in a year, yeah, they're pretty much.
They're never not funny.
Fart jokes are sometimes not funny, but farts always funny.
Okay. Yeah. Good point.
All right.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
So what would it be if you were gonna make it? Like,
Maybe it'd be like Asoline.
Asoline.
Mm.
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Play on words, sir. I
Yeah,
like
that's a real tough one, especially if you don't have like a vanity plate.
it. Right.
That's what they call them, vanity plates.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a vanity plate?
Fuck no.
Have you known anyone with a vanity plate?
Unfortunately. Yes.
What does it say?
I've known a few people. I don't remember.
My old drummer, his girlfriend, was a bit older
Mhm.
than us.
An
And
elder
so,
states person.
not like huge, but like a different era of music was her kind of like childhood, and her license plate. I probably to this day, but for the entire time that I knew her, was Jovi.
Sure.
Mm,
You know,
that Jovi.
yeah, shot to the heart, man.
That's trying to think. I mean, didn't somebody we know have like a Seether one?
Yes, somebody had a Seether plate. Yeah.
It's like, really? Okay.
I have a person on my street that has a really nice car, and his vanity plate says ex-con, and I feel like it's his way of being like, don't break into my car.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
All right. You want to put that out into the world for some reason, and it's probably to say, don't mess with my car, is what I would guess.
What is you've seen the road? You've seen many miles.
Yes.
What's the worst vanity plate you've ever seen?
Or even one that you remember.
Or yeah.
Yeah, I my cousin lives in California, but grew up in Canada, and I believe his is something to the effect of USA, like EH. Yeah.
Of course it is. Of
Yeah.
course it is.
You know what? Sometimes that's what we all think. We think USA.
So, like, I'm not going to say that that's the worst one. I actually think it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's
Especially
pretty great.
knowing-
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But that's
Do you have,
probably my favorite.
So do you have anything anything that you've happened to see outside the windshield of a tour bus that you were like, I'm going to commit this to memory for whatever reason?
On a vehicle?
Doesn't matter. Just something that wasn't like, what a beautiful sight. Like something that was like, I have to commit this to memory. We're going to talk about this at another time.
I mean, the thing that is coming to mind was I was looking out the front window of the tour bus as we were driving down the highway. It might have been Edmonton area. It was certainly cold, icy, and I saw brake lights, and I saw those brake lights get closer and closer very rapidly. I don't think we collided, but it was very, very near a collision. And everything in the front lounge of the bus, all the beverages, both in people's hands and on counters and stuff like that, slid off. It made a big mess. And I think maybe we figured out that that bus driver was watching TV while driving. So he was maybe paying a little too much attention to South Park and not enough attention to the parking lot that was
Wow.
showing up in front of him.
Was this like early on, or was this like more recent years?
It was earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, probably a good 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have do you have one?
Oh no.
I have two.
So.
One is a Lamborghini with a duct tape back bumper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I will remember forever. And that wasn't even on tour. My brother was visiting me and we were driving around and he was like, dude, do you see the Lamborghini with the duct tape bumper? And I was like, I do now. And I'm going to remember this. Because it was Long Island, and it was typical Long Island where it was like the person with the nice car was committing many moves where you were like, what kind, who are you? Right. But his $250,000 car was back bumper duct taped.
Okay.
And I was like, probably because the bumper's $50,000 probably to replace. And then the second one was when my band was touring, we got to go to China and we were in a bus.
Oh, yeah.
And while we were there, they had like it was like a 6-lane highway, right? And everybody was just going as fast as possible. But everybody means the bus we were in, plus dudes on like scooters with it looked like like a styrofoam cooler, right?
Uh-huh.
Think of like 20 of them like zip tied together in a big square right behind a person on a bicycle.
Wow.
And the bus was literally inches from this person. And nobody had any kind of anxiety except me. I was like, what is happening? We should not be doing this.
Okay.
It was absolutely insane.
I do remember one. It was when my band was playing Jersey, and we were coming back from Bloomfield Cafe, and we passed a place. It was like emo urgent care or emo emergency room. Okay. And the O was
everyone
like
was sad there.
The O had a heart, and we were like, oh, we have to take pictures here. We did. We pulled over and we took pictures with the sign and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Shortly after, we actually went to the Quick Stop from Clerks. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a fun run.
My old bass player wanted desperately to every time we saw a no dumping sign, he wanted to take a photo in front of that while
I remember that
while
he did a lot of social media
committing
posts.
his felony.
Yeah,
we never let him do it. We were like, no, that's not going to happen. And my old guitar player used to forget he was driving a van with a trailer attached to it, and
Fast and Furious,
take exits at like 50 last minute, and also try and weave in and out of traffic. And I was like, dude, everything we own is back there, and it's all going to be destroyed.
Yeah,
like your stuff's back there too.
Yeah, you gotta drive it like it's a truck, not like it's a little car, you know?
Right. Yeah. This is not a Civic.
Yeah. All right. I got two last questions. Number one, talked about on the road. What do you think of Long Island traffic? Did you get to experience that at all?
I guess coming back from Bethpage, we got into a little bit of it, but like not too bad. I'm not driving.
Yeah,
I was riding in an Uber at that point. And yeah, usually when we're traveling on the bus, we come in, early enough or late enough that the traffic is not a big thing. But it has not been so long that I can't remember Long Island traffic. We used to drive the van and trailer in it.
Yeah,
go and play in Ronkonkoma and spots like that.
Tracks, is that the name of the place?
I hope not.
I feel like this was long enough ago. It might have been a like a Legion Hall or something like that.
Right.
Like a festival at a Legion Hall.
Man, they don't let us do that anymore.
No, they stopped all that. Yeah.
A favorite spot of ours though was the downtown.
Oh man, I love the downtown.
Yeah.
I used to play there all the time.
Yeah.
I opened for Maroon 5 there.
Nice.
Before they were like
when they were still a metal band.
They used to cover Nine Inch Nails Closer.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking sweet. All right. My last question is this. You got your co-headline tour. I think what everybody who loves Silverstein and loves Silverstein Live wants to know is Mike coming on this tour?
Mike Tampa will not be joining us on this tour.
Oh, he was meaning him.
Okay.
That was his way of applying.
No,
he was like,
no. Well, I can.
He was like,
sure.
I'll come on the tour.
No. You know what? Because Mike Tampa is super, super talented musician, and I've gotten to see him multiple times with you guys, and he's on your new record and stuff like that. So I was just curious to see if he was going to be joining you, or if you're going to be doing the track thing a little bit.
Yeah, Mike just had a baby fairly recently, so he I think is taking some time to
congratulations
family
to
and enjoy that. Of course, big up Mike. But you've not seen the last of him. I think we will be around again and probably bring Mike with us. But for now, we're gonna go without him, just like the good old days before we had a Mike. And I think it's gonna be a cool set that we're putting together. We're leaning into some of the new stuff. We're pulling out some old stuff that we haven't played in a while. It's going to be a nice change from the last one, and I'm excited to do it. We've done a lot of support shows recently, and it'd be nice
festivals, support stuff.
Yeah,
fun to come out and
headlining again.
Do a full big thing.
Big old production. We got a killer lighting package. It's going to be, I think, quite the event. So
sweet.
Awesome.
So
you see it.
So if you guys like Alter Mary, definitely go see them live because they'll be playing it. What? I hope so. I fucking hope so.
You never know.
You never know.
That song has certainly been received very well, and it was definitely one of the ones that we thought was a little, pushing the boundaries of what people might accept from us, and the response has been spectacular. So I would love to give it a try.
I think your fans will surprise you. I think they're.
I hope they do.
I think they're ready. My final question for you is:
oh yes,
what movie have you seen more than any other movie? This includes on TV that you won't shut off or anything else. We didn't get to do 7 questions, so now this is in lieu of 7 questions. We want to end on a high note here.
Sure.
So what is it?
My best guess is the Adam Sandler film Big Daddy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
More than any other movie?
I think so. We used to hang out at the same guy's house after high school every day. And this is in the days of VHS tapes.
Yes.
And we would get back from school and put that on. And often when it finished playing, we would rewind it and watch it again.
Nice.
Maybe partially because we didn't own that many tapes, but also because it kind of became like a funny running gag that just self-perpetuated, and I have seen it probably around 100 times.
Nice.
I still to this day, if I ever stub my toe, I always go, Scuba Steve!
Scuba Steve!
Damn you!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's quotable before
Oh, yeah.
quotable was a popular thing. It's got a lot of funny zingers.
Do you have a VHS that you've seen more than any other?
Oh, it's got to be either the first Ninja Turtles movie
Sure.
or Ghostbusters.
Okay. I think on VHS, like there's movies I've seen way more, but I think like on VHS, playing it over and over and over again, I think it might be the first Matrix movie for me.
Okay.
Either that or The Crow.
Ooh.
Those two
That was a good
movies,
one.
like I just
Great
repeated. I wore those VHSs out when I was a kid.
Anytime I hear the Crow movie, all I can think about is when I saw the Deftones and they opened with teeth.
Ooh, okay.
Unfortunately, Chino was wasted,
It doesn't matter.
just completely wasted at a
It
stadium
happens.
show. But it was
happens.
amazing. I was the only one who knew what it was, and they're like, everybody's like, what is this? This isn't Minerva. It's like, it's great. It's so good. So yeah.
When I
Josh,
think of the Crow soundtrack, I my mind immediately goes to Stone Temple Pilots' Big Empty.
Yes, Big Empty, man.
that was
Great
in there,
tune.
too.
Great
Really
tune.
great tune.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're working on them. We might get them on the
Stone
show.
Temple Pilots?
Yeah,
Oh,
Wow.
cool. That'd be awesome.
Current lineup.
We did a
The current lineup is still Stone Temple Pilots, is one guy.
festival with them in Canada that was like a festival spread out over the better part of a week. So only a few bands per day, and our day was with them and I think maybe Gym Class Heroes.
Wow.
Nice.
And yeah,
That's a cool but weird lineup.
very weird. Yeah, and the festival is like the Ottawa Blues Fest. So like
Okay.
none of us are blues
Right.
fans.
Yeah. Clearly.
A bit of a misnomer, but the DeLeo
Clearly Buddy
brothers.
Guy was represented.
Yeah. I'm sure there was blues involved, but not that day.
Right.
But yeah,
the minor scale.
Sure, lots of minor scale. We
A lot of minor
love the
scale.
minor scale. Yeah, pentatonic. Let's go.
Pentatonics.
The DeLeo brothers were hanging around all day, and like both the bass player and the guitar player, like they are
That's awesome.
killer musicians, and I was
Oh yeah.
Dude.
excited to just chat with them. They were just hanging around, really nice guys. Scott Weiland showed up moments before he was supposed to take the
Right.
stage on a tour bus. His like tour bus came and backed in.
He only has. He's always got his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the driver parked
Back in,
it,
head
and then
out, man.
got out, put like a red carpet down, vacuumed the carpet.
my God.
Somebody came running from elsewhere with a suit on a hanger and a bottle of wine. And
That's
shortly
incredible.
thereafter, Scott came out wearing the suit and with the bottle of wine in hand and took the stage. And we got to stick around for most of the set before we had to drive back, and it was killer.
So as a band that like is very successful and has seen kind of everything, like is that not still just crazy awesome when you see somebody or something that is just so over the top rock and roll that you're just like, I need to just step back and appreciate this is happening. There's a red carpet being laid out for this motherfucker, and I'm cool with it. Like, that's great. That's awesome. Like, I can't wait to
Absolutely.
see him walk down the red carpet. Like,
Yeah. Like I would be embarrassed for anybody trying to do that kind of within
Yeah.
our scene.
right.
Right.
But certainly there are a few people that can pull it off, and it seems fitting, and
Right.
I loved it. It was exciting, and yeah, like there
dude,
are
it's so
entertainers
cool,
just
man.
on a different level than the rest of us, and
It's
it's
crazy.
a treat to
right?
get to
you
see.
that, and you're like, all right. Is there anybody? And I know that like we said our last question was going to happen.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure.
Is there anybody that you think of that you guys could have the chance to play with that would still put you in like an awe type situation where you're just kind of like, oh, motherfucker. All right. Like, do you have that list? Do you that like?
I don't keep a list.
Right.
But certainly they're just like any of the early performers that have kind of started this whole thing with shows on a stage. Like, I don't know.
Right.
That outside of our genre, there are lots of them. And I try and go and see concerts when I can, regardless of who they are, what they do, just because I like to see that next level.
Absolutely, yeah.
Performance. And yeah, I'm in awe. I like, truly, there are people that are on a different level than the rest of us, and it's impressive to be near and to take in there's
certain
show.
People that carry that aura, you know what I mean? Like, I recently saw a video of like somebody put up a video on YouTube of like, hey, Ozzy Osbourne and Tony Iommi got together and played some songs, and I was like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Just happened?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care if they suck. Just the fact that it's like those two, to me, is like in awe. I'm just like, what just happened? Ozzy Osbourne, like, it's not even like somebody that I listen to on a day-to-day basis, but they have that they
legendary
have that, like,
status.
Oh yeah,
exactly. It's like that thing that happens in your head when you say like, oh, Axl Rose did something, and you're like, did he now?
Of course he did.
I kind of want to know what he did.
Tell me more.
Please let me know. Or like Scott Weiland had someone bring a red carpet up to his fucking bus, and I'm like, goddamn right he did. Absolutely he did.
He deserved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's those things. There's those certain artists, you know, like who are those artists for you? Like who do you?
I mean, after this crazy long documentary on the Beatles, I'm on a bit of a Beatles kick right now. There are not many of them left to run into,
right?
But yeah, like, I don't know, meeting Ringo or Paul McCartney would be a real kick,
Yeah. That's even on a whole nother level. That's
beyond, right?
I can be done after that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for real.
I'm like, you're gonna excite me with what now? I'm sorry. No, you're not.
I read that Paul McCartney said something to the effect of like that it's wonderful being him because no matter where he goes, everyone's really excited because he just like brings that excitement with him. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
People are always super excited and happy to see him. So like, it must just be really nice to.
I bet you no one. I bet you there's no one that's like, God damn it, it's Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I think he never happened.
I think he has that sort of status where probably he doesn't get hassled a whole lot. Where like some celebrities, I think, probably get hassled a little. I think people are just like, oh, Sir Paul McCartney. Like,
I think there's two things.
Well, I think he's one of the ones that like viewing him is enough.
Yeah.
I think it's one of two
Paul
things.
McCartney.
He's older too, so maybe some like younger people,
right?
He might not be as recognizable from those documentaries, right?
Okay.
That's number one. But like people our age who know who he is,
right?
We like you see him and you're like, I'm not gonna talk to this guy.
He's that guy that played with Nirvana.
Right. He did. He did play with Nirvana.
He did. Yeah, that would have been something to see too.
That would have been another thing for me, where just seeing it on television, I was like, what am I watching right now?
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm viewing. Like, everything's happening to me right now in so many ways. Nirvana was to me, Nirvana was the Beatles of the 90s because they were trying to be. Like, that was their influence. That was everything. Soundgarden was the Led Zeppelin. Like, I had this talk with a vocal student recently because they were talking about how much they love Chris Cornell. And they're in a show. I work at a school of rock, and I teach vocals. And they're singing a Van Halen song. And they were talking about how much they hate all the stuff David Lee Roth does. And I was like, Chris Cornell and David Lee Roth are the same singer with different voices and better lyrics. But like their approach is exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, just listen and listen to the in-betweens, listen to the rhythmic, and listen to what's happening. And they're both Led Zeppelin. Like, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They're both Robert Plant.
I'm sure you've come across it, but I implore you, since we are talking about Diamond Dave,
Yes.
you can find isolated vocal tracks.
Oh my god.
Oh, amazing.
Oh my god.
You gotta look these up. Like Running with the Devil.
Running with the Devil.
Oh.
Dude, it's golden. Yeah. I show that to students when I'm teaching them, because anybody that's self-conscious, I'm like, I want you to imagine these songs imagine David Lee Roth was self-conscious and all this extra stuff wasn't here. These songs would not be nearly as cool.
Yeah.
You need to have like you need to have
crazy.
You need to have all that. All that needs to be there. That, like Michael Jackson stuff, come on it, like all that stuff, like that has to happen.
There's also a track where somebody has taken every single Michael Jackson noise and stitched them all together. It's something to listen to.
I also found on YouTube, and you can find this, and I encourage anyone that is interested at all,
check out the description,
singing, to do it.
We're gonna do it.
Queen has isolated tracks.
Oh, no. We don't want to make people feel bad about themselves.
And you can hear harmonies, and you can hear vocal takes by themselves, and you can just be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
There's nothing left for me to do.
We're the people,
special guy.
Everything cool has been done.
We're to make people stop singing.
Yeah.
Because of that.
You know what? Some people should stop singing.
Good point. Probably me. Josh, thank you for hanging out with us again
and going down these extra side roads with us.
Yeah,
the way we do.
We're super excited. We're super excited to see you on tour. By the time this comes out, you're going to be on that tour.
Yeah.
Co-headline with The Amity Affliction, also playing with Holding Absence, who I actually happen to really enjoy.
Yeah, they're great.
Unity
I haven't
TX.
checked them out yet. I'm gonna.
I'll send you some songs.
Yeah,
good stuff. Unity TX, they're awesome as well. We saw them at we were going to try and see them at So What Fest,
right?
But we were just overworked.
We didn't get to see anything.
It's bullshit. No, it's okay. It's fine. But no, dude, thank you again for coming on, and make sure you listen to Misery Made Me, because that's the record of the year.
Because it's great.
2022 record of the year, right? Can we just say that?
I'll say it.
Okay,
I'll say it.
It's going to be our record of the year. We're only doing the one.
I think it's record of the year.
You know what? I'm in on that. I really, honestly, like, it's the first record in a long time that I've listened to from beginning to end, and
I hate this, guys.
And not just
Spotify
because
tendencies. It's
not just because we were interviewing you. That's why I listened to it in order, beginning to end. But when I put it on, I didn't get, like, a lot of times I get, like, not bored, but I'm just kind of like, I want to hear a different voice. I want to hear a different style or something.
Sure.
But the record hits so many different styles and hits so many different things. Like, it didn't give me the opportunity to be like, all right, I've heard enough of this same thing. It doesn't give you the opportunity to do that. And I love that about it. And that's, like, honestly, like, it's the first record I've listened to every single song on in a row in probably a couple of years.
Thanks for listening to it as intended.
Yeah.
We're real proud of it, and hope to be touring, promoting it, playing some of these new songs, because I think it's going to be a real kick to do so. And thanks for the kind
really
words
great
about it, and I hope everybody checks it out.
Yeah,
everybody
absolutely
must check it out. It's important.
Links are there.
Down there. So
don't be a dick.
Josh, is there anything else you'd like to tell everybody? You know what? I'm gonna rip off the podcast.
Oh,
I'm gonna rip off when Pod is easily cast.
I was gonna say which one because we do it all the time.
We're gonna end this.
Let's do it
with Josh's final thoughts.
Oh, mercy. Yeah, sure. Well, it's a crazy world that we're living in. It's a good way to start a final thought.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's important to find things that bring you joy. For some, it's bacon. For some, it's Satan.
Some it's Satan.
For some, it's Satan.
Some it's Satan. Yes.
And,
that was a callback.
Sure. And yeah, I think anything you can do to find a little bit of joy in this world, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, is a real great way to spend your time. I hope everybody finds something that makes them happy, and is able to spend time doing that before they have to go off and do all the less pleasant things that come along with living life. So thanks for having me here, and I hope everyone has a really wonderful day and life.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Man, is he not like,
I love
he's
talking
one
to
of
him.
us.
Yeah, I love talking
He's
to
just
him.
absolutely one of us, and like I
was like,
great
why is he coming
vibes.
back? To be honest, I was like, why is he coming back? And the reason I was like that was because, like, okay, they don't have anything specifically that they're releasing right now. They have like the new
they're
album.
on tour right now.
Right, they're on tour now. Misery Made Me is out now. The album's awesome.
So
Right,
fucking good.
but there's nothing like pressing where they're like, oh, I need to do promo. And so he just came back to hang out,
yeah,
which is awesome.
yeah.
Right, so we talk about gear, we talk about songwriting, we talk about the new record, we talk about like just what it's just like. This is cool because since it's the second time, the whole you know what it's like when you meet somebody and you get that get to know you phase.
Getting to know you,
Right? Yeah. You meet somebody and you're like, I'm my representative right now. I'm not really me. I'm my representative. This is who I am.
This one was like more
But
of
like, we were like
lean
all three
back,
of us,
baby.
all
Lean
three
back.
of us. We're just
So-
like, cool. We're gonna hang out. He's gonna have a beer. We're gonna have some whiskey, and we're just gonna chat.
yeah, and it was a really good episode. Thanks again, Josh, for hanging out.
Yep. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it because I know you did. If you didn't, you're weird.
Yeah,
And you wouldn't be here still anyway. So if you're still here, you enjoyed it.
If you like Josh, if you don't like Josh, it doesn't matter.
If you don't like Josh, you're
yeah,
kind of weird.
yeah, stop listening
Yeah.
altogether. Don't
Why
be
are
my
you-
friend.
What's wrong with you?
But yeah,
Seek
just
help.
like go listen to Misery Made Me. Go check out Silverstein on tour right now. Cool lineup. They've got the Amity Affliction co-headlining with them. They're swapping it. As we get closer, I'm gonna see if we can maybe sneak the kids in.
Let's do it.
That'd be cool if we
I'm
do
gonna
that.
see if we
locally.
can go have drinks with Josh.
Yeah, we could do that with kids too. I think.
I don't want to drink with your kids. I mean,
I do it all the time.
I'll drink in front of your kids. I've done that
Yeah,
plenty of
we've done
times.
that.
Yeah,
We've done that. So yeah, go see them out on tour. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
If you
Jimmy,
are unfamiliar with Silverstein and you don't know who they are, the new record is actually a really good entry point because it lets you hear what they've done and it lets you hear what they're doing at the same time. And then if you will decide to kind of venture back and hear more stuff, and you'll love it because it doesn't.
right.
It's not like holy shit, it's a different thing. But there's so much cool stuff, and it's so now, and it's so like.
Yeah.
It's just great. So
Yeah.
if you don't know them, please jump in. I just wanted to say that for
Yes.
anybody that's not familiar with Silverstein.
Yeah, and also if you enjoyed the record and want to know more about the record, listen to Silverstein the podcast because that is man, when they started doing that, I was so excited, and me as a music nerd, oh man, it's just so cool to see how things get made and who's behind what. And what collaborations happened and how the production happened and the original ideas. It's just, you go down a rabbit hole. And for me, as
definitely.
a songwriter
Definitely.
and someone who records my own music, it's It's fantastic. It's a great.
I think it's cool
great-
because you not only do you hear Silverstein songs from kind of like conception to release,
Yeah.
but it's a band that you're heavily influenced by. So if you like them and you like that whole process, what people can do is then immediately go over and find something heavy. And where can they find that? Because
Oh, I like that. I was gonna try and get to that,
it's
but I'm
literally
so
like
happy.
You're influenced by.
I am.
And there's elements of, so you should definitely
Absolutely.
check that out and try and find the similarities and point them out to us in the comments. Where can they find you so that they can do that?
So something heavy you can catch on Spotify and all the streaming music platforms. Something heavy on all the social medias at something heavy. Me personally, you can catch me at me my own self, Mike. You can hear things about or see things about podcast, about band, about family, about other things that just make me chuckle. Things that I do and whatnot. And also, don't forget that Bacon is My Podcast is not just a podcast.
That's true.
It is also Bacon's My Passion.
Yeah.
Which is a band. A band with songs.
Yes.
And you can catch them on all streaming platforms. Bacon is My Passion.
Yeah, we have
Passion.
we have a new single out.
Yes. Yes. We gotta start working.
We should probably get that done then.
So yes, definitely check out Bacon is My Passion. Jimsy,
Yeah.
what about you, Ski?
Well, you can find my band Craving Strange at cravingstrange.net. You can find all our music there and all our socials there and everything that we're doing over there. You can find me, Jimmy G's Shoes, on all the socials. And to be quite honest, I have been completely absent from socials for quite a long time. Honestly, every time I've gone on, within 20 minutes, I've been so angry that then I've left. But I'm really trying, hopefully at this point, I'm trying to cultivate a new idea for how I'm going to approach social media.
It's all about
a
how
new
you approach it.
persona on social media.
Yes.
And I think I'm going to have to do it that way. I think I'm going to have to create something that is just a social media persona and just lean all the way into it, because I think that's how I work best. I don't, if you're on social media and you're trying to know who I really am, you don't fucking deserve it. You don't deserve to know me on social media. You don't deserve it. You deserve to know what
You know
the fuck I
Deftones
tell
say?
you.
You know what Deftones say?
What's that?
Fuck you, you don't know me.
Exactly.
Fuck you,
So
you
I
don't know
think
me.
I just gotta figure it out. It might be abrasive. It might not be. It might be super funny and super welcoming. It might be, but it's definitely going to be much narrower.
It's gonna be a thing.
Yeah, it might be a thing. I'm trying to
Also-
figure it out, so I'll do my best. Jimmy G's Shoes. Check it out. Maybe I'll be there. Maybe I won't. You'll see what happens when it happens.
Also, please make sure you go to our socials at Bacon is My Pod. Stay in the conversation. Hashtag Bacon is My Pod.
What's up with El Serioso?
That dude is a menace.
So some weirdo randomly takes over our shit.
A fucking menace.
Yeah.
You know when you see those things like, hey, if somebody asks you about a PlayStation 5,
Right.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
this might be that.
I'm like, did I open a wrong text or email? Did I click on
Maybe.
something? Because this dude is a menace.
Menace. So you can probably see some of him. I don't know how to get rid of him yet.
Hashtag El Serioso sucks.
Yes. Yeah, El Serioso sucks. Stay in our conversations at hashtag Bacon is My Pod. Hashtag What's Your Bacon?
Yeah.
Hashtag Bacon is My Podcast. Thank you to the patrons.
Oh,
The patrons!
you're the best.
You are the best.
You are
Thank you
absolutely the
so
best.
much for hanging out with us early and ad-free.
We're gonna do better shit for you.
Yes.
We've already done some cool shit for you, but we're gonna do even better shit
Yes, indeed. And you know what? We didn't say it because Josh ended it on such a great note.
for you. Yeah, like there was no.
Like we weren't gonna Yeah.
We don't want to bastardize it with commercialism.
I mean, we already did, but
Right. Yeah,
but
What's your bacon?